Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Wednesday yesterday. Today is Thursday, January 19th, 2023, and it is a day D. For instrumentals, it is also a day 4. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Go ahead and take a seat. I'm so happy that you are here in school. Once again, it's amazing. I love seeing your smiles. I love seeing all of you guys as you guys share that love and that care and that encouragement. It builds me up, and I hope that when I share that back to you, it builds your day up too. Just as I shared yesterday, I really want you to get to a point where you are making people feel better when they leave school than when they came in. And I hope that you too, that by the time you leave school, people have given you so much love, care, and encouragement, so much respect, and shown that responsibility and readiness for you, that when you leave school, you actually feel better than when you came to school, okay? That's the goal. We all deserve that. Your principal deserves it. Your teacher deserves it as well, okay? So that's amazing, and it all starts with having you guys here in school. All right, let's go into our lunch menu for today. We've got 4 choices, as always. Your first choice is Mickey's WG Pizza. WG, as we have learned, is whole grain, so that's a healthy pizza lunch for you, if that's what you order. Choice 2 is a Chef Junior salad. Choice 3 for kindergarten through second grade students, it's the lunchbox meal with turkey. And then for our 3rd through 6th grade students, it's a turkey sandwich. Last but not least, it's choice 4, your sun butter sandwich. So make sure you select what you want so that our kitchen and our cafeteria will be able to prepare the correct amounts of the correct meals for you. And then also, if you're a packer, you're good to go. So yeah, that's lunch for you. Now, we have 3 expectations here at the school. You already know what they are. Number 1, show that you are respectful, right? You're respectful to others. You're respectful to your teachers. And guys, there are going to be times when you may not want to be respectful. Okay, I can think of times when I was a kid where maybe my teacher asked me to work hard on something, to do something maybe independently, alone. And maybe I didn't want to do that. And so there's going to be that choice, kind of like you have the choice to eat that marshmallow from that assembly or not, right? To either do what you really want to do, but maybe it's not what you should be doing, or to do what you should be doing, knowing that the reward's at the end. You're going to feel the success. You're going to feel the victory. You see, when you go back to that video from the assembly earlier this month, and those kids had to wait to eat the marshmallow. It was really hard, certainly. And yeah, I know if they held off until the grown-up told them they could eat, they would end up with 2. But I think what people miss in that video too is just how proud those kids were, who actually were successful. Like, they actually held off. As hard as it was to not eat that one marshmallow, just how proud they were of themselves that they actually did it. Yeah, getting that extra marshmallow is awesome too, and certainly worth a celebration. But if you remember in the video, a lot of those kids were actually really proud of themselves. Okay, and I want you to be really proud of yourself. There are times when I was a kid and I didn't want to do what I was supposed to be doing, and I did it anyways. By the time I was finished, I was legitimately proud of myself, and I deserve to be proud of myself. That in itself is a reward. I love that. Okay, and that requires us to have self-discipline, right? To do what we need to do, to put in the hard work, to do what we want to do, to achieve what we think we deserve to achieve, okay? But that requires hard work and doing things you don't always want to be doing, okay? You got to show that respect to your teachers because they're showing you respect by giving you assignments and learning opportunities that will actually help you later in life. But we've got to be responsible with ourselves, right? We've got to be responsible in disciplining ourselves to just do the right thing, even when nobody else is looking. But that also extends to being kind and being courteous and being compassionate to other people, operating and working through our lives and our day in ways that are encouraging to others. So that means with our feet, we can certainly use them to kick people, but should we? No, it's not kind. We could run through the hallways, but should we? It's not kind to ourselves because it just risks us falling, tripping, and getting hurt. We could use our hands to hit, steal, all sorts of different things, but should we? We can do better, right? We can take responsibility of our hands and do right? We could shake hands. We could give high fives. We could give pats on the back. We can use our hands and help our teacher lift things. Help our friends pick up some of the items that they might have dropped, right? Our hands can be used in responsible, helpful ways. The words that come out of my mouth, right? We all know that there are bad words out there that we shouldn't use. Could we use them? Yeah, we could. Should we? I don't think we should, right? And so I think it's important too that the words that come out of our mouths make people feel good. They encourage people. Sometimes you got to be honest and you got to give some critical feedback, maybe that they don't want. But if you're doing it to help build people up, that's also helpful too. And finally, in our mind, right? Sometimes we might beat ourselves up because we didn't do something perfectly or we didn't do something right. I walked into fourth grade earlier last week, and I heard people talk about growth mindset, right? In our mind, we should be growing and we should be encouraging ourselves to grow. And if we don't do well, we should talk ourselves into saying, you know what, brush ourselves off. We're going to get back onto it. We're going to try to do better. If we don't do well, we make a mistake, we make the wrong choice, sometimes we can beat ourselves up and we shouldn't. We should just say, okay, I've learned my lesson and we're going to move on, okay? And moving on, dusting ourselves off speaks to being ready, right? Being ready to do hard things. Being ready to do the hard work. Being ready to just be kind to ourselves and to others. That matters. All right. Only one special announcement. Don't forget, next Friday, which would be the 27th, we're collecting good quotes, right? You may remember Lily Jenkins, and she shared with us her good quote. I want to share with you an example that I made. I'm going to put this somewhere in this school up on the wall. And here's a quote. It says, "The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing." Right? How often do we sit around saying, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this amazing thing. I'm going to achieve greatness. How many times have we seen other people talk about it, but they never actually take that first step to doing it? So here it is. It's a quote, and it's actually by a guy. His name is Walt Disney. If you know the Disney films, he's the guy who started the Disney company. So he definitely did some things, right? He created an amazing company. He created Disneyland and then Disney World, if you've ever been there. And I also decorated it. Here, right here, we've got a little guy. He's laying down, not even just sitting. And he says, "I'll climb that mountain one day." And then you'll notice there's another guy right here. And at the top, he's actually climbed the mountain. He didn't just talk about it. He's actually doing it. He's at the top, overlooking, and he's saying, "Victory! I actually climbed the mountain." In other words, he didn't just talk about it. He did it. He went up the path, right? And this sign is kind of hard to see. It says, "The path of hard work." He actually did it. He walked the path to the top. Meanwhile, this guy down here just keeps talking about it. So that's why I like this quote. It's a good reminder that sometimes we want to do things, but we also have to be ready to put in the hard work. This is one of my quotes. I had fun doing this. I'm going to maybe make another one. I'm actually challenging some other older kids to see if they can make some ahead of time so some of the younger kids can see what these quotes might look like. I encourage you guys to make your own quotes, talk to your families. Maybe you don't know what quote to use. Talk to your families. Maybe you're not very good at handwriting because you're in kindergarten. Some of you kindergartners, though, got some great handwriting. You can get your family to help write the words out. You can do the decorating. But by next Friday, turn in your version of this and we're going to put up all these encouraging words throughout our school, and that'll be a really great decorating opportunity for us. Okay? All right, this day in history today is January 19th, 2023. And back in 1955, we had a president by the name of Dwight D. Eisenhower. He was actually a war president. Not a war president, he was a war general. A few years back, he was one of the main generals that led the United States troops in defeating, Nazi Germany and their friends during World War II. Eventually, he translated that fame into becoming president. And around that time, something happened. On this day, while he was in the White House, something happened that we almost take for granted. See, these days, we've got President Joe Biden. The previous president was Donald Trump. Right? Very often you'll see presidents in the White House. If they need to tell the country something, they'll do something like me. They'll sit at the desk and they'll talk about something important right there on the news, televised. Well, television was still pretty new back then in the 50s. And Dwight Eisenhower said, you know what? I'm going to be the first person to talk to the country on television. And so on this day back in 1955, you had the first presidential address on television. Okay, pretty cool. So if you like that kind of history, technology, politics, all of these things, maybe this little tidbit might speak to you. Listen, if nobody else has told you this, I love you, care about you. I'm here to encourage you. You know what to do. Do. Don't just say it. Can't wait to see you guys around. Have an amazing day.